I get regular questions from around the world from students and clients and seekers about bringing more power to any activity, any practice. I call it being intentional. What is it to be intentional? A number of years ago, in the early days of ride sharing, for a few months to help make ends meet, I was an Uber driver and a Lyft driver, double fisting. I knew that the people getting in my car wanted to get to their destination as efficiently as possible and as comfortably as possible. So my intention was to fulfill on that. And then some. So let's say I was doing an airport run, taking somebody to a flight. There's all sorts of different traffic, all sorts of different ways to go. My task, when I'm being intentional, is to notice the openings in traffic and, as safely as possible, pass through them. Not just hang out like a bug floating in a humid condition, but actually get to the place and spot the openings. Are you with me so far? Take a deep breath. Let go on the exhale. The spiritual practices. Every day I chant some pretty long Sanskrit chants for multiple purposes. One, it clears out my whole nervous system, expands my heart, tones up the vagus nerve, prepares me to be able to teach with greater pronunciation and skill, connects me to the source of the teachings. But if I mindlessly chant these chants, the Guru Gita, for example, 182 verses, I've been chanting it for decades. I know it inside and out in terms of the words, so I could actually be thinking about something else while I'm chanting the verses of this very powerful tantric chant, and really receive little to no benefit because I'm not really with the chant. I'm not being intentional. So in everything I'm doing, I'm bringing my awareness to the present moment as best as possible, and then some. I'm softening the 6 points of my body so that I can be even more present. I soften soles of the feet. You can do this now. Soften soles of the feet like you're opening fists with your mind. Palms of the hands, corners of the eyes, region inside and around the ears. Tongue as it rests on the floor of the mouth. And all the muscles of the pelvic floor groin region. Soles, palms, eyes, ears, tongue, pelvic floor, groin region. Breath coming in deep and going out slowly. In this physical way, I'm setting up my nervous system to participate with my intention more fully, more efficiently, more gracefully. Then what is the purpose of my task? If my purpose is to get you from your home to the airport as efficiently and safely as possible, then that's my clear intention. If my intention is to wash the dishes and get all the old food off the dishes and get them prepared to be sterile and clean and ready for the next cooking extravaganza, then it behooves me to be paying attention to the dishes, to use my hands to feel if there's anything still on the dish that hasn't been scrubbed off. To look using my eyes to be sure, oh yes, they're clean, they're ready to go, they can be put away now. When I'm working out at the gym, I need the power of intention, the intentionality to focus on how I'm using my body, not just throwing weights around, you see, or I'll injure myself or somebody else. The intention, the intentionality to be aligned with the purpose of the task while being open to the discovery along the way of better ways to participate with the task or alter course if it becomes valuable and important to alter course in some way. I'm present the whole way through. I'm intentional. Where would it benefit you to be more intentional in your life? How will you train yourself? Because essentially what we're talking about is the preliminary trainings of a true tradition called mind training, a big portion of which is focus. We've talked about this before, you and I, about the proliferation of ADHD and ADD diagnosis. I had really intense ADD, ADHD going into college, and really cared about the goal of getting through, not upsetting my mother so she would continue to be supportive and I would keep my loans and scholarships. I had to be intentional. But really, I struggled with this. I really struggled with this in subjects like macroeconomics or sciencey things, advanced language, things that weren't coming naturally and easily to me. After I graduated from college, I received my first empowered mantra initiation. And I took to it like a duck to water. I loved chanting it out loud. I loved repeating it silently. I especially loved taking my mala beads, my rosary, on a walk and going for a focused mantra walk. And you know what happened? Within months, the symptoms of this ADHD disappeared from me. Here's why I think so. I'm not a scientist, but I know quite a bit about neuroplasticity in the brain. That our brain is malleable, our nervous system is malleable based on how we shape and direct our attention, how we focus, how we participate with our moments is shaping and creating pathways in the brain, neural pathways. So my understanding, my instinct, and I've talked to a few neuroscientists about this who agree, is that in my practice of mantra repetition, I was focusing consistently enough over time between the physical focus of passing the beads through my fingers, recognizing the mantra and staying aligned with it when the thoughts would wander, and carved new neural pathways to be a more focused, clear, grounded person. You can too. You really can. Turn it into a project. Turn it into a fun project. Turn it into a project of discovery. Yeah? How can you encourage yourself to be more intentional? What activities will you apply this to today? We can save so much time, so many resources, to include money, when we're intentional. So my invitation to you is to be more intentional, ever more so with each day, while being relaxed, present, and in discovery of what's possible. If my intentionality, which it can do, especially for those more in male-gendered bodies, get overly focused to the exclusion of how people are doing in the environment around us, for example. We're so focused on changing the oil or repairing the thing that we're not hearing the noise from the other room of somebody asking for help. We're overly focused, you see. So the shadow of intentionality is grasping, clinging, and chasing. Grasping, clinging, and chasing show up physiologically in our bodies. We can notice tension. For example, right now, soften your belly. No, really, soften your belly. Notice how that feels. You might even notice a subtle heart opening, subtle or strong, just from softening your belly, the armoring that we do in the belly in preparation for fight, flight, or freeze. We can practice softening the belly intentionally. I think you're following this, and it might do to re-listen to this a couple of times. Maybe take a couple of clear notes that are for you this week to apply your intentionality. I promise you it pays off. Share in the comments how it's going. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see each other soon. Namaste.